Hi guys, it's me Karen from Karen's Intuitive Jewelry. Hope you guys are doing well on this weekend before Christmas. It is Saturday here that I'm filming and probably be my last tutorial until after Christmas at least. And so recently I had one of my subscribers comment that although she loved that I make a lot of things for other people, she wanted to see me make something for myself. And I did chuckle and reply back to her that outside of the things that I make for other people, almost everything else, if not everything else that I make in the tutorials is kind of for myself. I hate to admit it, but I do possess, I'd say, probably the majority of the pieces that you guys see me make. They do go into the shops and they go up on my Etsy, but they are in my possession for a long time if they ever sell. So anyway, I had a good chuckle and she laughed as well. But I appreciate that, and I've been holding on to this Ruby Zoisite, which is mostly ruby. There's a little bit of Zoisite on the side, but I kept this one for myself, and I'm planning on wire wrapping it to go with a cute little summery top that I bought recently that has some pretty pinkish colors in the turquoise fabric, so I thought this would match really nice. And I'm going to use the gold-plated tarnish resistant parawire, square 21 gauge, and half round 21 gauge as well in parawire. And then I'm thinking about using some of these really tiny, I want to say these are probably 2mm, the real little ones, and then probably 3mm faceted, and I'm not sure, they could be tourmaline, or I'm not sure what they are, because some of these beads I've had for a long time, but it is a gemstone. I just don't recall what it is, and a lot of times I wasn't writing this stuff down, so I apologize. But then I'm going to use, these are stainless steel, so they won't tarnish, little spacer beads. So I hope I can do something pretty on that. But I'm going to get started with my usual measuring out my 21 gauge square wire. I think 3 pieces shall suffice, but I may use 4. We'll see. Okay, so probably measure out, I'm going to go with about 10 inches of square gold-plated. Okay, so yeah, I'm going with 3 pieces, and they're approximately 10 inches. And then, of course, as normal, I am going to do this with the point down. And so I'm going to find the center, do a little pre-bend with this half round, just to kind of get it started. It's been a hot minute since I've done any wire wrapping, to be honest with you. And it's getting harder and harder for me to see some of this real tiny, like this half round. It's hard sometimes, for me anyway, to tell which is the flat side and which is which is the round side, because the flat side has to go down and brace up against the wire. Okay, and with half round, as I've talked before, you have to turn your piece. You can't just take your wire and wind it around, because it'll get all twisted. And you just do a few and then smush them close together. I usually do like 3 wraps and then stop and push them together. until I get, you know, oh, not more than an inch, depending on the size of your stone. So I'm going to do that. And in case you guys can't tell, I'm in my recliner with my footrest up, and so I can support my neck. It's been bugging me in my low back because I've been a lot more busy lately with the holidays and all that good stuff. So this is kind of why I chose to do this tonight as well. Anyway, I got that approximately in the middle, and that they're all nicely pushed together. And you want to always cut your ends off so they're on the same side. And then that will be bent so that the ends are on the inside, up against the stone and out of sight. Right? And we'll give them a little smush down. Now, before I give the final smushing, a very technical term, by the way, and I think I first heard that used in wire wrapping on Yvonne Williams' page or channel. She called it smushing, and I liked it. Anyway, before I give it a go and smush it, I like to make sure it's in the right position, have those ends down. I first use my nylon jaws to give them the first smush, right? And then I can go back with my chain nose, or these are actually a tweezer nose. And you know, I recently upgraded to Xuron. Love my Xurons. Okay. So there's what that looks like. And then we're going to find the center, right? And then offset it by 1 millimeter or 2. And then use my thumb to push. And if you find that this side is, say, shorter or whatever, it'll be easier, instead of straightening that and trying to bend it again, just go over to the longer side and unravel that and make it even that way, unless it's super obvious. Okay, so then we're gonna give it an approximation. And keep these down nicely. Something like that. And then just eyeball it. And you can get real technical if you want, but you know me, I'm not really a technical person. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Okay? Okay, and now I'm going to take my half round and create the bail. Same way as you did this, or as I did this. So pretty much the same way we did the other wrap. You just start it with a little kink and wind this over. All, at this point it'll be all 6, because there's 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and make sure they're laying flat next to each other. And then you can bring this up through the center. Pinch that down. And just like the last, when we did this part, you have to turn your piece. Can't turn the wire. So you turn your piece to do, maybe, I usually do about 4 wraps. And then we're going to separate out these wires, like the back 2. And that's hard for me to see. I think that's them. And then this is the front two on this side. Okay, so we'll bend that nice and back. Actually, we're gonna bend these out of the way because this is gonna be the bail. And then we'll continue wrapping the bail about an inch or so, okay, by turning your piece, not the wire. So I'm gonna do that off camera. Well, here's Missy, and she's kind of whining because she hears a neighbor's dog outside, and I'm trying to tell her they're not even outside. Come here, Missy, come say hi. No, you can't come up though. I'm recording. Whoa, 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 whoa. Say hi. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you can't come up, sweetheart. Okay, get down. Get down. Okay, Dad. What's Missy? Oh my goodness. Oh well, I'm not getting up to let her out, and she doesn't need to go out there making a big hot mess. Sorry about my messy living room. Little behind the scenes, right? I'm in my recliner. I got some presents in the boxes. Anyway, I went to a full moon event, even though it's not the full moon yet, because I think that happens actually Christmas. But down at a traditional medicine school, not far from me. And they have like a full moon vendor bazaar with a drumming circle, and they were doing burning of the Yule log, I guess, Yuletide log. Massive bonfire and a big circle, and lots of professional drummers down there, and some vendors set up, and I like to go check it out. And I'm always super surprised to find out that there really aren't anybody selling what I'm making, and it always just blows my mind. And I wish I was physically able to do those kinds of things, because I think it'd be a great opportunity to sell my pieces and make a little bit of money. But I just physically can't do those craft shows anymore. But, okay, sorry about the rambling, and I apologize in advance, because I think Missy's gonna get a little bit louder, because I think I just heard some neighbors' dogs come out. So, I am going to cut this off on the back and smush that down and make sure that's all fairly nice. Give it an original, or my first smushing with my nylon jaws. And we're going to bend this forward a little bit, and you can use your round nose pliers or bail step making pliers, or whatever you have, or even just a pen or a cuticle stick or whatever to make your loop. Is this all blurry? Come on now. I don't know what's happening here. Sorry about that, guys. I hope I can edit that out. Anyway, we're going to push this through here. Let's cut off this extra piece that we brought up to the center. Give it a little tug before we cut it off. Then you can get right down in there and cut it. And hold on to that so it doesn't go flying. So that's nice and tucked up in there. And then this comes through. this way, and you can finagle with your bail, and then one will go around this way and the other will go around this way. Right? So we get it to lay fairly flat. Then we'll snip it just a few millimeters long so that we can bend it and tuck it down in here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So it'll be hidden away. I will do that better when I can see. And then same with this one. And always check to make sure they're fairly, even though they'll be hidden, that they're fairly even. Come around here, snip this off, leaving a couple millimeters. And then we will bend that in. And tuck it. I'll do a better job on this side. All right. And it's okay that you can see that little end there because it'll be covered up. Let's see how the stone's gonna fit. Good, good, good. Okay, let's lock that baby in back here. And I always usually start with my fingernail. That's why I don't have great nails. Any wire wrapper or crafter knows that, right? Forget about having good nails. Okay. So that's locked in back here. And then we will open that up a little bit so we can get our pliers in there. And then bend that slightly. Come around this side. And bend that up. So now that's really locked in. Now we can start with the decorative part. So let me think about that. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do a little bit fancier with this since it's a rose cut and you can see all that flash. And I'm gonna be adding some faceted micro beads. So this first one, I'm gonna take, like these are both sides of them, right? This was this side and these are the two from this side. I'm gonna use the 28 gauge and wrap around this and connect these two. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a minute. Hang on. Okay, so I cut off about 2 feet of this 28 gauge and I started with just about 3 wraps and then slid it down in there. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do another 3 wraps to get that started. And then I'm going to wrap both of them 3 times and then smush everything together. And smush it all the way down in there. I don't know if you can see that yet, but you'll see the pattern come to life in a few more wraps. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so the pattern is 6 wraps on this one and then 3 wraps on both of them. So let me see if I can show you. Separate that slightly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then both of them, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to continue that for a little bit because this is going to spiral around down here, and then I'll do something with those. Okay? Okay, so I got it where I want it, like about where it ends down here. And so I'm going to snip that off. I'm going to leave a little bit just in case I might need to secure it somewhere. So let's leave a couple inches, but I can cut the beginning off. Cut it nice and close. Make sure you don't cut anything else. Okay, and we're just going to, I just bent this around to form this loop. Okay, and I'm just going to bring it around the back and leave it for a minute. And then I'm going to twist this wire. And again, just hold it and twist your piece to get the desired amount of twisting that you'd like. I think that's good for me. And then this one, I'm going to wrap with the half round for this type of effect. Okay, so let me get the half round out and find the flat side. I have to hold that up to my face. And you can usually tell, if I had better eyesight, it's much easier because the flat side will be a little bit more flashy. But that's why then when I do find it, I give it a bend so I don't lose it again. But okay. So I'm just gonna hook that on there. Give me something to hold on to. All right, back here. And I'm just going to get that started. And once again, I'm going to have to hold this wire and turn my piece, not the wire. So that can be a little tricky. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Right? I'm holding my wire and turning my piece to wrap this half round around just this one wire. Okay, so now that I've got it started, in fact, let's see. Let's push that down to the end. Let's see if I can get that down better. And I'm going to continue wrapping that, okay? Okay, and I've been checking it, you know, going around here to see how long a wrap I wanted, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to snip that off. Get that out of the way. And then we are going to evaluate where we are with this. So I think first things first is I'm going to cut these first two off. I'm going to cut them off and tuck them in the back here. Is that what I want to do? Yes. So I'm going to snip those. I mean, you can always bring them around the front and do some decorative stuff with them, but I'm choosing to do a snip and tuck. Right on the inside here. And just take your time with this, because you want to get it, you know, as nice as you can. Although it should all be pretty well hidden. And then these two are going to kind of stay together, but I want to leave a gap in here to run those micro beads in. So these are the ones that are going to come around this way, and I may not have left enough room to do much on the front, which is okay, because I'm also going to try and put a bigger bead in here. That looks pretty, doesn't it? And let's see. Don't know. Let's see what it looks like if I just do a little spiral here. Let's see if I like that. Smush that end a little bit. I can always snip that off if I'm not happy with it. Let me think about this for a minute, guys. Okay, so for now, I just did 2 spirals and just set them off to the side, because I don't know yet what I'm going to do. And I want to do the bead work first. So I'm going to take my 28 gauge. I have a piece left over from when I was wrapping. And I'm going to feed these in whatever pattern I come up with. And then attach them to go in this spacing in here. Okay, so let me do that. I'm going to feed the beads on here. Actually, I'm going to start and just wrap this around as an anchor, and then I'll feed the beads on. Okay, so I fed a series of beads onto the 28 gauge. I anchored that wire down around here before I started. Then I had to play around with, you know, how I wanted the layout. Anyway, I laid it in that little channel. And then when I got up to the top, I think it was this bead, I went around the outside, because you can see a little bit of it up here. It's not great, but it's very minimal. And just anchored it there, then fed these last 2 beads on and did the same thing. Anchored it around the top a few times because I wasn't sure how secure that would be. And it still has a little bit of movement, but I think it'll be okay, especially since it's for me. And we will always check the designs before I ever remake this, and with the intentions of selling it, of course, but it's coming along. So now I'm going to add one of these bigger burgundy beads in here. And I'm still not sure on whether I need these two or not. I'm thinking I may cut them off. Okay, so I'm going to move on and secure that with just half round this time. So I'm just going to cut off about, give myself plenty, 2 inches of this half round, anchor it to one side so I already know what I'm working with, and then I'll feed that other bead on for the center. Okay, guys, here is the final product. And as I was saying, I anchored one side. I decided to go with a larger burgundy bead and a gold bead on both sides. So I just did like 2 or 3 wraps, fed them on, and then finished it off there. And this is what the back looks like. Everything's all tucked in. There's no sharp, pokey bits or anything. This is probably the fanciest wire wrap I've ever done. And I think it's, woof, it is gorgeous. Especially with that faceted, or actually, technically, it's a Rose Cut Ruby Zoisite with very little of the zoisite. So I'm going to show you this with a black light as well. But what do you guys think? Pretty amazing. Okay, let me go get the black light. Okay, guys, here it is with a chain. I just put it with a delicate, this is a stainless steel, but it's gold plated stainless steel. They hold up real well. And if you give me a minute now, I'm gonna shut of these lights off. Let's see what happens. I mean, you can see it already, but let me shut this light off. It's pretty dark, but look at that. Oh my gosh. Now these little faceted beads are not ruby zoisite, so that's why they're not flashy or fluorescing, but that's what anything with ruby in it does. Isn't that cool? So that'll get some attention if I ever go anywhere with a black light. So what do you guys think? Turned out really, really, really pretty. Really pretty. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And I may or may not see you before New Year's. So if I don't, Happy New Year. And this is going to be the best. I'm really looking forward to 2024. And if y'all would like to buy me a coffee, I will happily accept that. And look for some new and exciting things coming here at Karen's Intuitive Jewelry. Merry Christmas, you guys. I appreciate you so much. Till next time, bye.